Hello everybody, welcome to part 2 of the KVM switch series. So as you saw in my other video, I did a video, the first video, excuse me, of me uninstalling the KVM switch that I had. In this video, we're going to install the new KVM switch. And so first off, as I mentioned in the other video, you have active and passive. This is passive. This right here will switch between the computers, and these LED lights will light up. So if let's say one's lit and I push it, it'll go to 2. Push it again, goes to 3. Push it again, goes to 4. Now for my purpose, I am only going to be using 1 and 2. Why is that? Well, at a future date, I'm going to do something called a double KVM install, which means I'm going to have the main KVM switch, and I'm going to put another one that will hook into port 1. So if I want to switch between my two testing machines, the PCs, I use the second one to go from that, so I'm not going from PC 1 to PC 2. Which means that gives me a little more freedom to hook up more machines. So, without further ado, let's get this started. So, in this case, I already separated 3 and 4 from 1 and 2. So, what you want to do is it comes just like this. You want to, these are called twist ties. Undo that. Always keep these because they do come in handy. So, okay, so that's PC2. Oh, what this is right here, this is the output to go into your monitor or your TV. So I need the green one, but I'm going to keep it wrapped up because the cable's long enough to reach down. So I'm going to move the camera a little bit towards where I need to go. So what I do now is be careful of that switch, because if you break that switch, you ruin your KVM switch. And unfortunately, you can't cut it off and put a new one on. Unfortunately. So what I got to do, I got to be careful not to hit the camera here. Alright, so this is the switch. I'm going to put the switch right there. Maybe not. Put the switch right here. I'm going to drop everything down. So what I'm going to do now, as if you can see it on camera, I don't need that. So what I do is I'm going to hook up the sound. You don't have to do this in any particular order, installing it, but I try to make it as neat as possible. So now I'm going to hook up the video. And I'm going to plug my USB. Gotta find out where that went. Oh, there it is. I'm going to plug my USB power strip in there. And remove these discs. I gotta figure out what all that software is. So now it is all hooked up. So what I gotta do now, make sure the switch doesn't fall behind. So I'm going to try to put this under, which is not going to work out so well, which is okay. So I'm going to put it behind here, and I'll know where I'm at, luckily. Oh, I was like, why was that there? Those are the cables. So up here, it's all hooked up. So now I got to go underneath and hook up the two computers, and we'll be good. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so I moved the camera down so you could see me pulling the cables down so I could hook it up. So what I'm going to do right now is I got to reach under here and pull the cables down, which should not be too hard because there's nothing holding on to them. Moved the Ethernet cable out of the way. And yes, they call it Ethernet. Internet, Ethernet. So what I got to do now is I got to figure out which is 1 and which is 2. Because I want computer number 1 to be number 1 and computer 2 to be number 2. So what I got to do is swing the cable right there. Oh, come on. Don't do that. Alright, so I found cable 1, which is most important to me right now. So I gotta pull the switch down a little bit, but that is okay. So I'm going to slightly move the camera. So what I'm going to do here, these cables are a little shorter than I expected, but that's okay. So if you can see, let me slide down a little more. I should have measured the cables. I did not. So I'm going to slide the machine back. That's not going to work. So what I'm going to do here is I got to find the graphics card and hook it up. Not sure if you can see it or not. Alright, I gotta... There we go. Nope, not it. I'll be back in just a second. So as you can see, I have everything hooked up. I don't know if you could see it or not, but the KVM switch does have power. So how this is going to work is I'm going to power on both computer 1 and computer 2. Right? I'm going to turn on the TV because this is a TV. Just checking cables. Okay, we are on computer 1 right now. So I'm going to let everything boot up to where it needs to be. We'll give it about 2 minutes. So it's recognizing everything on this machine. So I'm going to wait a little bit for the second machine to boot. I'll do that so you can see what I'm talking about. So it's re-recognizing everything because the computer is recognizing the KVM switch, the USB port wise, as a new hub. Okay, I am going to switch computers now. So, as you can see, I'm going to push a button. And as you notice, it did not switch back because this is a passive KVM switch. There we go. Just glitched out a little bit there. So we are on the second one. So if I do this, for some reason it's not liking what it's doing there. But you get the gist of what I'm trying to get. So I turned it off. Takes a little bit for it to switch. It's on PC1, PC2, 3, 4, 1, 2. There we go. So, sometimes you might have to do it more than once, which is okay with me. So, anyway, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.